jacketing here. We're here with one of our great friend Ryan Turk, and I think the most famous, the most beloved, and the most wild, possibly, Mark V Supra build out there. Ours included too. the Formula Supra, and this is next level, man. This is just next level. For those who hasn't been on the internet, would you mind walking through just some of the basic details and things?
So yeah, I guess the main thing is definitely the Mark V Supra chassis. The Judd V10 engine. This is the GV4 Series 1 engine, so it's a 4-liter V10 that revs to 11,000. We currently are only revving it to 10,500. It's rated for 730 horsepower at the crank and 350 foot-pounds. So at the wheels, we're at 630 at the rear wheels and like 330 foot-pounds of torque. It's really nice to drive in a track. Like the power band is very smooth. The engine is very, very smooth, and it's very manageable to you know, just get back on the gas in my limited track time that I've had with it anyway.
Yeah, because this is your second event with a car on like time attack trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first time was Grid Life Midwest, and I wasn't there. Alex was there. Are you guys? Yeah.
I couldn't catch it.
Yeah. Alex was slow in our car. I'm really sorry. He should have put up a fight, but you know, it's all right.
You were probably faster than me, especially the second day.
But this, considering this is the second event that you guys have ever had in the car, you're running like ridiculous times. We're separated by 2/10, so I think we're at 54.7 and 54.9. And it's like, for second event.
Yeah, but you're in street mod and I have friggin' big ass slicks here.
But also, we've been running our car for 2 years, right? And this is the second event in this car, and that's just outworldly. So we have a lot we want to talk about. Obviously, there's a Judd V10, which is Le Mans engine, F1 style engine kind of deal.
Yeah, Le Mans, yeah, so like basically an endurance F1 engine. So it's made to go 24 hours in racing Le Mans, and actually won, I forget what team it was, but they actually won with this engine, and it sounds amazing. That was the main thing. Was just more of the,
sounds crazy.
It was never meant to like get to this point. It was more like just like, I want this engine, and I don't even, you know, whatever car it goes in at whatever time I'm able to figure it out is kind of how it all worked out. But it was more about that engine and the sound that it had, and wanting that to be able to drive.
You know, I think this is easily the best sounding car in the paddock, because like when it's on a flyby, it's mesmerizing. You just stop and you listen. Some things we like to talk about also was between the cooling package and the aero. Obviously, this is like the wide body from the drift cars and such, the Eurofighter kit, correct?
Yep.
And then the suspension we're very interested in, because you guys have the Wisefab in the back, and usually this was on the Wisefab before. And for time attack, what did you have to do to change it to like a road racing spec?
So for the Wisefab stuff, being an angle kit and trying to get a lot of degrees for drift, they make very long lower control arms, and that pushes the suspension package all outwards. So that doesn't leave you a lot of room for a big tire to go on the car. So after we did the initial finish of the build and did the initial video drifting up the mountain, it was time to repurpose the car for what we wanted to do with it, which is mainly time attack. So we decided to go back to what we had originally intended to do, which was run all the SPL stuff like you're running on your Supra, and run the stock knuckle, and then just have new rotor hats made to run the center lock that we currently have.
We gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about the center lock. Center locks on a Supra, this madman. That's nuts. But yeah, so like relatively stock suspension now on the front.
Yes.
But it's kind of turned up to degree 11, right? And what I gotta talk about is a front sway bar also, which is entirely custom.
No, that's just a decorative.
So that's a decorative piece.
It's custom going through the frame rail.
Yeah, it's going through the frame rail. It doesn't mount in the same position as before. But you guys, was this the one in-car adjustable, or is it not the? Is it a different one?
Not in-car adjustable.
Okay, but it's there. Yeah, if you look, it's the links is entirely different, and it kind of goes to the front of the engine. And I don't know, man. Like there's some engineering stuff in here that is just like entirely rebuilt.
But like I said, if we ever want to build like an unlimited Supra, we'll be calling him a lot.
Yeah, he'd be our sources.
Yeah. No. If we're building like a Super Unlimited, we'd be starting from scratch for sure. Yeah. I would still like the same drivetrain package and a lot of aspects of what this car is, but we would redo pretty much everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just learned from what we've already learned from this and repurpose all of that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, okay, can we look at the body kit real quick? Because the fit and finish, obviously.
Oh, it's absolutely insane.
It's amazing because you sometimes think about drift cars and you think, oh yeah, it's just slapped together a little bit. No, nothing against it, but kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is next level in terms of fitment. And it's all carbon. And we've dealt with spades, we've dealt with carbon stuff, and we know how sometimes the fit and finish can be a little bit iffy. And for the quality is, wow, off the charts.
I feel like unless you're doing the 3D scan to high density foam kind of mold through CNC and stuff, you're always going to have a lot of fit and finish work to do.
Right.
So this stuff being not from that and being more like handmade, it definitely took a lot of time to make it as good as it did. And Dominic, who built the majority of this car in fabrication, and he's just got a really good detail, so he was able to just kind of like really spend some time in making this thing fit really well.
Can we talk about this quickly? This is the one detail I really like. This is probably Dom as well, right? The headlight support. You kind of chop off first the frame rail, so you don't even read the rest of the VIN number anymore.
Only half the VIN.
And so the VIN is kind of destroyed. But like the way the headlight bolts on and how well it fits is for aftermarket bumper and an aftermarket bracket setup is quite special. And I just love all the bracing and the way, it's like I feel like this is more like a Formula D style kind of front cut, right? You cut off the front and you build whatever support structure on the front.
Yeah, except
you
I
can.
think this is lighter than most of the Formula D team would do.
Oh, definitely, because we don't have a crash bar in front like most like this car does, and
because Formula drift car, they're like contact sports.
Yeah,
so you have to kind of design everything around the potential
Absolutely.
of contact and
Right.
easy to replace.
This is not that.
this is not that. And that was originally my train of thought was like, oh, well, we need crash bars on the car, and then my buddy Dom's like, well, you don't.
It's a time tack. You actually stay away from the guy a little bit. Yeah. That's what's really cool. I do want to point out, give my friend a shout out, Amir from RS Future with a aero package.
Yeah, I got to say a massive thanks to Amir. He had a really tight deadline to get us a new rear wing and a new front splitter on the car, and this thing showed up. They next day aired the stuff like typical freight companies. It didn't show up on time, and then we were just busy. We got it just in time and had a friend bring it down for us and got this thing on last night. So stoked that we have the entire package back on the car.
Wow. We'll move a little bit on to the brakes because obviously it's a Brembo GTS. BBK,
yeah.
But because you guys went to the center lock, the whole center's got to be changed, doesn't it?
So it's actually a bolt-on center lock. So we're still running the factory BMW Supra.
We'll say it very quiet.
We're still running the factory Supra front hubs.
Right.
Yeah.
So and so it's the five bolts onto the hub and then goes into the center lock.
Yeah.
And it was more of an aesthetic thing, like, so I always wanted to have that look, but I just ran out of money to finish the car exactly the way I wanted to. So later down the road, once we kind of get further into developing a chassis, I want to do like a full suspension package with custom uprights and a real deal center lock and everything.
You make that, you let us know. We'll buy a set. We'll buy a set. I'm mildly drunk, so you tell me what to talk about.
Transmission.
Hollinger Sequential 6-speed, the RD6, great transmission, flat shift, all the good stuff. So we left room on a table there, so we can upgrade to paddle shift in the future, which would be cool.
Yeah. I think paddle shift in this car will actually make this sound like F4.
Oh, it's not paddle, it's a lever shift.
Yeah, it's still lever shift, right?
Good old-fashioned freaking time attack car.
You're gonna love man with a stick.
Yeah. The man with a stick is the best way. Final question then: how much does it weigh with you in it? Do you know, or is it without it?
It's 26, basically 26 even, full tank, full oil, like fully wet, without me in it.
That's like 800 pounds lighter than ours.
Fuck you, man. Thank you for the very brief walk around the car. We'll get some B-rolls, but this thing is freaking next level. And I think everybody on the internet loves it. I think there are cars out there that can make people change their minds about the chassis, and this build specifically, I think changed a lot of people's mind about the Supra.
Yeah, I think the chassis is solid. Once you build it into what you're like a purpose-built race car, it develops really well. It's a lightweight chassis that's super strong. I mean, I don't know if you've drilled out any spot welds on your chassis, but it is.
We didn't. It's not legal for the class.
It's an absolute nightmare because everything's like this heat-treated and hardened steel on the chassis. It's just like really, really rigid to start with. So it just complements everything else that you build on top of it.
Yeah. Well, here you go. This is a Formula Supra. We'll maybe do a more in-depth video at some point, but thank you for the quick walk around. Tomorrow it is. Tomorrow it is.